Hi, everyone, and welcome to this panel. My name is Ari Lopez. I'm a senior analyst at Onja in Latin America. And the topic today for our panel is AI and automation, transforming operations with big data and automation. As you know, the telecom sector is going through a very important digital transformation over the last few years. Together with that, we have been going through a very challenging year, 2020 and early 2021, because of the pandemic. We saw the environment for operations in the telco industry on very large shifts in traffic and lockdowns going on across several countries, including Latin America, of course. So that only made the case for adopting AI and big data in a telecom sector more and more important. So today we're going to talk about these transformations, what big data and automation can bring to the table to the operations of a telecommunications operator. Join me here today, we have Moisés Pascoal, Chief Data and Analytics Officer for Telefónica Ecuador. Hello. William Pinzon Pineda, Product Owner, Senior AI Ops, Telefónica Colombia, and Claudio Nayankin, Vice President for Cala Scream. So thank you all for joining us today. This is a super important topic for our sector, as you might know. And Claudio, I would like to start the panel with you, asking you, what do you think are the main areas in which the big data analytics can have the largest impact for a telecoms operator?
Well, thank you for the question. It's a very important question. In fact, the explosion of data is taking across the board every single department in a telecom operation, and no one is excepted on that. So customer data and 360 view, for example, if analyzed regularly, and I guess my colleagues can comment after that, can reveal in very important customer trends in order to customize offerings and services for them that without these analytics are impossible to know and to offer to the customers. So telcos can secure networks by analyzing potential threats to detect anomalies, for example, before they lead to disruption of services that can lead to multiple, let's say, problems on the operation. On the other side, engineers can use data insights to prevent network issues at the same time reducing OpEx drastically. So in order to take advantage and leverage these growing data stores to support use cases over 5G networks, and actually already 4G, but mostly 5G because the huge volume of the data. So the telcos must be equipped with strategies and tools to analyze the massive data while it is fresh and actionable. And this is very important. I guess, I hope that my colleagues and the panel as well know very well this issue.
Thank you, Claudio. Indeed, in this past, let's say, year and a half almost, we have been going through a major challenge. The countries and the societies as a whole, and of course, the telecom sector. Moisés, so I would like to take the opportunity to ask you how Telefónica Ecuador acts and how was the challenge to running the operation during this pandemic in 2020, especially on the early days. How have Telefónica coped with the situation in Ecuador, and how do you see AI, big data playing a role in the way that you operated in these circumstances?
Okay, thanks. In general, I think that the telecom company has had to adapt the new patterns, the new situation of the customer. This situation is supposed to invest in capacity in a short time because we didn't have time in this moment. You know that the digital society transformation to accelerate 5 times in this pandemic. And the network support this new situation. This is the key point. The telecommunication company in Ecuador supported this transformation, this increase of data consumed, these new patterns of the customer. And also very important to understand that the provider, we support the provider as well. Why? Because we advance payment to them. Because in this moment, the most important was to support the economic cycle, okay? Not only our infrastructure, our company, and also support to the customer and also support to the provider. And I remember that every weekend we talk with the government about how the telco supported by big data and intelligent and artificial intelligence (AI). We can support the take decision from the government area in general. For example, we using the data, a lot of data that we have, we take of our network for identified the mobility patterns of the customer, the mobility patterns of the society. With this result, the government take decision when they can cut this street or they can cut this area, or how they can use best resorts in the city. Okay. Mainly, this is the key point that, in my opinion, the telecom companies support in this moment, in this not easy moment in Ecuador.
Thank you, Moises. It's interesting that because up until now, in just very few moments of our panel, we already touched on a number of different ways that AI and big data can impact the operator and also the society, right? So from reducing OPEX, as Claudio was mentioning, to providing tools to the government to guide the policies around how to fight the pandemic. So very interesting up until now, quite important topics. So William, up to you now. And I would like to ask you in Telefónica Colombia, how have been your experience and how have been the lessons you have learned from implementing AI ops during such a challenging time, you know, during this 2021, early 21?
Well, thank you, Adrian. Talking about the IT operation, implementing AI ops and automation has been the greatest advantage in our operation. We have changed our mindset, taking advantage of the enormous amount of data. We have in our system, and we use it to make decisions, to automate tasks, and self-healing events and incidents. About the quarantine, we learned that it's possible to automate many more things than we thought. Nobody ever imagined being able to manage almost 100% of the IT operation remotely. Then, if it can't be done remotely, probably it can be automated. So, with that, as Claudio says, this is going to reduce the CapEx investment, the OpEx cost. So we use it on the operation to freely this capacity on the IT operators to do some things like real engineering. I mean, quality management, strategic things, such things like that. And well, as Moises said, data is the new soil. So we can take decisions just based on that in data. Yeah, that means that we can have a step forward of the incidents, not to wait to they appear. Well, I mean, we can be a predictable operation of IT.
Yeah, thank you, William. Indeed, if you look, it's interesting. I was thinking here while you were answering my question, how would be to run those IT operations if during the pandemic, if you didn't have these tools? Imagine how hard it would be, and probably nearly impossible to keep the operation running, and imagine the impact that can have in the telco operation. Thank you very much. So Claudio, back to you now. We've heard on this first round of questions, we already touched on several points that are very relevant, a lot of lessons learned, a few cases where we saw the positive impact even in the society, like what Moises was mentioning before. But I want to ask you now, on one other aspect of this implementation, which is, what are the challenges? What are the main challenges faced by telecom operators, especially if you're taking into consideration that they need to analyze data? Sometimes they need to have access to real-time data, and they need to understand how to use that. Especially if you take into perspective that we are in a moment of planning to launch 5G and already implementing IoT. So what do you think are the main challenges for telco operators who are trying to access the power of the data generated by these new networks?
Excellent question, and thank you, Ari. I think we have 2.5 triggers in our lives in the telecom market right now. One you mentioned is the 5G explosion of data. The number 2 is the IoT, which is generating more and more data every day, through any sensor you have in the house, in the office, on the industry. And number 3 is the Corona. So altogether, we know the situation in Latin America and South America. In many countries, those guys that sitting here with us, they have to continue and provide the service without allowing by the government any increase on fees, without disconnecting customers because the Corona, et cetera, et cetera. So the main challenges on top of those data management and the pandemics are that most, not all, but most operators rely on legacy analytics infrastructure. So what I mean by legacy, it's mostly based on open source, or let's call it Hadoop kind of things as a base for the big data management. Finding that suddenly with the explosion of data from these new players, suddenly those systems are incapable to handle peta scale, we call it peta scale data, or huge volumes of data as we are seeing today. This is one thing. Then we are seeing technological limitations on the scope and scale of data analytics, leading to extremely, and this is day-to-day facing customers, right? It's coming from the operators like the colleagues we have on the panel. I hope that they can comment as well. So leading to extremely long-running queries, very lengthy data preparation processes, inability to perform ad hoc exploration as well, causing the operators to lose out in most cases, game-changing insights that are hiding deep in their massive data stores. Also, we have another challenge, which is the cost of the required compute clusters, or let's say the footprint or the hardware, putting aside the software cost, acquisition, whatever, but the footprint and the maintenance, it's going up constantly if you are talking about legacy, as we call them, infrastructure. So dozens and dozens of servers for any new service income. So nowadays, more than ever, those insights are key to improving network quality of service and optimizing the customer experience, let's say, and improving the quality of service. So they may be able to process rapidly their daily data increase. It's increasing daily. While keeping, as I mentioned before in the intro of this answer, while keeping their resources and investment as reduced, as lean, as small as possible, because they are not getting budgets, and Moises and William can comment, confirm. They are not getting new budgets to address this issue, but they are getting requests to provide a service, I mean, internally, the IT, let's say, department or the big data department. So in summary, in order to fulfill these needs, the telcos have to implement new technologies, allowing them to cost effectively, with a very, very reduced cost, be able to analyze all the insights and data directly. And I mean directly, since the raw data. Nowadays, a big cost of the data processing on those volumes is the data preparation. So if they can get strategies and tools that allow them to process raw data, they're gonna save a lot of money getting budget reductions immediately. So they have to do all of this, which is a series of big challenges in zero time, without budgets, and analyzing much larger volume of data by the day. I hope that I was able to summarize in a few minutes the main challenges.
Thank you, Claudio. Yeah, that's a very interesting answer you gave here. That reminded me a conversation I had with an operator in Latin America several years ago, actually. And when he was telling me, the person was telling me, well, look, we bought this beautiful, amazing big data platform here, and I have been trying to figure out for the past 3 years what to do with that. And I think that's one example of many that probably happened across the region, of operators who had to give an answer in terms of, no, there's this big trend, I know it's going to be important, I'm going to invest the way I can here, and then figure out what to do. And now we are in a moment that the budget's under stress, and they need to really be smart in the way that they process and use this information. So thank you, Claudio. Very interesting.
Just one last sentence related to this. What we are seeing, which is important for this club, almost daily, is that those operations are facing a digital transformation, or let's call it a digital impact of the data, bringing their actual, let's say, hundreds of terabytes analyzed to peta, as I mentioned, petabyte scale. And suddenly they say that they have to add, I don't know, dozens, 50, 70, 100 servers. So Corona days, this is not possible. And this is the point where they have to find the strategies and the tools to help them to process all the data, to analyze it with a minimal economic impact.
Yes,
Sorry for that.
For me, the 5G is the new wave. Is the new wave. We think different because the investment is different, the profile is different, the skill is different, the technology is different, will be different. So until today, we think the big data and artificial intelligence, prediction, reduce cost. Maybe we think, and after 5G, in new wave, if how we can to process a lot of data with framework, with a framework in reduce cost. This is the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so imagine the challenge to our IT systems. That's every second is going to count. So imagine that is a big deal, a really big challenge. So we have to do so automation, implementing machine learning, implementing neural learning,
Robotics.
all the way to have all the systems up, so to not affect the clients.
And without new budget.
Yeah. All this with the same budget, or probably less budget than the previous year. And as Moises was mentioning, 5G is really changing the game in a big way, isn't it? So maybe we can go back to this point to understand a bit. Maybe Moises, as you were the one who raised the point, what are you doing in terms of preparations for 5G to run our big data and analytics operation? Can you maybe can share with us some of your thoughts on that?
So it's not easy, the question.
Yeah.
The question is not easy. But maybe the first step is to how we can to capture this new information. And after the velocity to take this information. And then how capturing this information we can transform in new value for the company, for the business area. This is the challenge. So mainly to think is technology transformation to capture this data, this value, this volume. And also thinking is on processing on premise and processing in cloud. Maybe this is the key point. It's not only cloud, not only on premise, maybe hybrid strategy for us better. And then to create it, see this is different algorithms, different technology to support the new decision. And after 5G, we need to take decision in new problem problem that we never had. Okay, so we can create new technology, new algorithm to support this decision.
Sure.
Customer care, reduce network issues. So how we can to support the big data for social good will be very important for the market. How the company take data to and after analyze at the end to return the society this value.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Moises. Brilliant. Thank you very much. William, just taking to this point of Moises mentioning that how we transform this wave of data information to value to the society. Maybe I would like to go to you and go back inside to the operator and learn from you, hear from you really. What do you think are going to be the main changes in the way that AI ops are implemented in the telco environment for the next years, especially taking into consideration what we see going on with the pandemic? Certainly, as you mentioned before, changed a lot of things in the operations inside the telco. But what do you think are the main changes coming our way in the next years?
Well, Ari, I think we have a lot of challenge in the operations, IT operations. I mean, network infrastructure, the human resource, of course. So I think that the next years we are going to work on better and intelligent, cloudified, and on-demand infrastructure, I think. So that is going to optimize resources and capacity in a dynamic way. You know, I think being an operator of IT is going to be a different way that we have on last years. We are going to have more engineering, more innovation, and be capable to take decisions based on all this data. Okay, so align all the roadmap of the customers, of the clients and IT operations to just take these benefits to the society. I mean, you can have a more reliable network, fastest services on your mobile phones, on everything that is connected to the network. So I think that's the way that we are going to operate: intelligent, automated, and on demand. So we can be more efficiently to the company, to the business. I mean.
Thank you, William. Yeah, I will take your last points here in our answer to close the panel. So automation, be smarter in the way you do the operations, and also real time on demand. I think these are the three aspects that we need to take more value out of this new reality. Well, we are now at the end of our panel. So I hope you, the panelists, enjoy the conversation, and I hope our audience also enjoy it. Thank you very much for your time. That was really a very interesting discussion. And with that, I would like to close the panel. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.